welcome again. It's so beautiful morning here in Norway, and still we have this welcome wave in hand. And soon you can see my new guest, which is a fantastic smile. And like I've said already, we have fixed our volume, our vibrations, our smiles, our mood. What is the most important? That actually how we can feel, how we can like you actually participate. I've been making my homework yesterday that the most important how we can give the right feelings to each other, because events, names, words, languages, they are going to fade with the future events, but actually how we really can assure that people feel so right when we are interconnected with them. This is the most important we can. So that's why I already on the best vibrations. And welcome to Diversity is the Game Changer, and welcome to the show. Thank you so much for your participation. Our new guest today, it's Gil Petersil. It's Gil or Jill? I know it's
Gil.
Gil. It's
Gil,
Gil.
Gil, Gil means joy in Hebrew, in Ivrit.
In
And it's interesting that you asked this because still until this date, maybe 95% of the people that I meet in the world think it's Gil, they think it's Gilligan or Gilbert. Like, no, it's very simple, 3 letters. It just means joy. And it's what I try to bring to a lot of people around the world.
Amazing. That's why already I can feel it. You are giving it to me just right now. When you like really genuinely open this smile, I'm like, oh, I'm like, wow, it will be amazing show. Thank you, Gil. I love it. Because I've adopted the first girl. Her name is Michelle. And when we have been through the process of adaptation, it's like, millions of documents from ex-Soviet, from Ukraine. So I chose the name Michelle, and I don't know, it was just kind of God inside of a heart. But when I found special meaning on Hebrew, Michelle actually on Hebrew, it's given by God. I was like, yeah, it's so beautiful, because I didn't know. I just liked the name, but when I found out, especially on this language. Okay, so welcome again to Diversity is the Game Changer podcast, where diversity goes beyond labels and becomes a living strategy for growth, leadership, and global impact. And today, like I've mentioned already, we have a very special guest. I'm honored and privileged, Gil Joy. Maybe I can call it the Joy Petersil. So, the master connector, global visionary, and conscious business strategist. So, Gil is internationally known as the master connector, a global visionary leader in networking, business strategy, and mastermind methodology. A serial entrepreneur, global speaker, and adventurous coach. Gil's life's mission is simple yet profound: to add value to people's lives by creating meaningful, authentic connections. So, with over 20 years of experience in the corporate world, you started from the kindergarten, you look so young. Gil has mentored over 1,000 startups, spoken over 1,000 international events, and coached senior level executives and conscious entrepreneurs across the whole globe. As co-owner of MeetPartners, he leads transformative experiences in personal development, business events, and educational tourism, bringing global communities together. At work, world-class programs such within business mastery. Known for his dynamic edutainment dates, I'm dying to find out more, style, and the use of gamification as a growth tool, Gil accelerates human and business potential by aligning purpose, environment, and mindset. And I could go further and further, but then we don't have time, because you have earned so much accolades and accomplishments in this young age. And oh my God, I'm so really privileged and honored that you have found time, given it to us, to my audience, to me, because this is the most precious commodity we can give to each other. It's our time, presence, focus, and really when we make this conscious choice. So thank you so much again, and welcome to the show.
Thank you, my dear. Thank you so much for doing this show. My team was really inspired by who you are, and they brought it up in one of our meetings, and I checked out who you are and what you're doing on social media, and I was really inspired. And I love your mission, and I love your engagement with the audience. Clearly, you're an extraordinary human being and such an incredible woman. So for me, it's great to be here with you, and let's see how much value we can offer your audience and your community.
Thank you so much. Now I'm so flattered. I'm just being like a jelly. Like I'm just sitting. No. Of course. We are ready to rock. Like people asking, "Are you ready?" I'm born ready. Like so cool. My very first question. I do believe very strongly that all our impacts and who we are today so much impacted and connected with our childhood, with our roots, and I do believe that really childhood DNA says a lot for us as grown-ups, how we become like leaderships domain. And I would like you to take us to little bit back to your childhood and to the kingdom of little Gil, of little joy. I'm sure that this boy, and with this beautiful smile, he could really spread a lot of joy when he was a boy. Can you take us a little bit to your childhood back? Thank you.
Sure, thank you. Yeah, so I've always had a big smile, is what my mom tells me, but my smile was really much kept in a very close network of people, mostly because back in the days, I was born 46 years ago in Israel, in a very small village outside of the city of Haifa in the north, next to the farmland. And in my world, the idea of connection or building friendships, today we call it networking, was not really a part of my world. I did not know how to make friends. As long as I can remember, until my mid-20s, I always had a few people that I can call a friend, but I never really felt that I was a part of a group or part of a community. For me personally, I was born and still am by nature an introvert. And I can remember from a very young age that my favorite place has always been my bedroom, alone, playing alone. And when I was 10 years old, my father came home one day and told us the good news that we are moving to another country. We're moving to Canada. And a few months later, we landed in Canada, and I was 10 years old, and I knew the ABCs. What I didn't know is that everyone in that country, in Canada, didn't speak Hebrew, my language. So I was stuck as a 10-year-old without enough knowledge on how to connect, how to make friends when I didn't have the language. And that took me through a very uncomfortable, very adventurous journey with, ups and downs, a lot of pain in the world of networking, a lot of uncomfortable situations of being in a classroom where you don't speak the language and no one could speak to you. And suddenly after a few months, you could say some words and you could start speaking a little bit. And suddenly a new boy joins class, and he is also from Israel. And I remember that point well, and I was 12 years old, and suddenly I had a friend. And, back then I didn't really understand the profound effects of suddenly having a connection who has been living in Canada for a long time, and he spoke Hebrew and he spoke English, and he became my translator. He became that bridge between me and others. And it was really wonderful because my life completely switched around when I understood how much we need other human beings, and how much we need to appreciate them, and how much we need to give them attention, and how much we need to be hospitable to them. And the world of hospitality didn't mean anything back then to me. But already in my 20s, I already understood the importance of hospitality, because from Canada, living in Canada for 10 years, I moved from Montreal to Toronto when I was 18 years old. And once again, I'm in a new city. There is no social media. I'm an introvert. My English was much, much better, of course, but it was a very thick accent when I spoke it. And being a shy guy, I had to once again learn how to connect, how to make friends, how to meet a woman at the gym. Oh my God, that was a nightmare for me. And then once again, when I was 21, I moved to England, to London. And once again, I had to go through the whole thing again, like, making new friends, connecting with people, building business relationships, going to events, it was like again and again and again, I had to start from zero.
Mm-hmm.
So from an early age, I already had this training of, well, you can find a lot of happiness if you have connection. I kind of knew it back then. Friendship is not something that comes with ease. It's something you have to work on. You have to contribute. You have to show up. You have to make an effort to build friendship. And it's these lessons that kept on coming back to me as I was moving around the world, as I've changed industries. When I was young, I was not really good in school. In my teens, I got kicked out of multiple high schools. I really only passed the third high school because, to be very honest, I became a professional cheater. I couldn't pass high schools because I was really not good in school. I didn't know why back then. Later on in my life, my parents explained to me that the doctors told them that I have severe ADHD, very severe dyslexia. It means I couldn't read books very comfortably. And back then, they didn't want to give me any drugs. And I'm very, very appreciative that my parents didn't give me any of those medicines that they give to kids these days. And because of that, school was not easy for me at all. So I became a rebel. I became a troublemaker. And I became someone that was trying to find his way through life by finding a way to connect with people.
Mm-hmm.
And I changed schools many times. I changed jobs many, 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 many times. And, that journey took me through this. Today, I can completely understand that usually what takes people a lifetime to go through of networking, I did in the earlier part of my life, where I just had to learn, how do you connect with people and why, and how do you serve them, and how do you make a difference? And it's been a great journey.
Wow, what a powerful, powerful story. I do appreciate really deeply that you are so honest and you boldly sharing with us, with me and my audience, and it relates so much to me, because I call it now mental uniqueness, and I found the term neurodiversity last year when I was in mental institution. Actually, I opened and started my podcast being on mental institution in my pajama, and people like when I really first time bring this subject, they're like really, they're kind of shocked, and I do believe it's so important that we are speaking more and more openly about this subject, about neurodiversity. So thank you so much with you already from the very beginning talking about that. And I can just relate, it was not that often for me that I had to move from school to school, but quite the same story from different approaches. Can you please share with me, our audience, and especially our younger layers of demographic, how, especially now in so challenging times, we have so much social media, and it's nice. It actually gives opportunity now for you and me to be connected and even to have this show. But at the same time, I do believe it's such a huge barrier for youngsters to make real deep connections, real deep friendships. It's like now very huge difference between deal friends and real friends. And when you call it fake Facebook friends or Snapchat friends or whatever, but you've never met them, it's cool. People, my even teenagers, and you have, I know, 3 kids, they have opportunity to connect, but again, it's so shallow, it's so hollow, and actually people more and more at kids stay just with their phones, and then they're not exposed so much to make new friendships like you and me. We had to do that, right? It was not social media. How we can encourage, what we can do, how we can impact our kids to actually really discover the power of real connections. Thank you.
Yeah, it's such a beautiful question, and it's a very, very deep question. And it for me personally, it really hits the heart, because I've moved countries a lot in my life. Even when I was finished with Canada, I moved to England for 10 years. And when I was finished with England, I moved to Russia. And then I moved to Singapore. And now I'm in Bali. And every single time I had to move, I had to find this like you got to make friends, like you got to start from zero. It's like again and again. And it's not easy at every age. It is easier when we are very, very young and like in high school or in kindergarten, because we are in a very closed community. We see the same people again and again and again every day. and we experience something together. So I got 3 kids. My kids are 5, 7, and 9. And it's really special because from a young age, I've been talking to them about, what does daddy do? And daddy helps people make friends. What does daddy do? Daddy helps people find people they can love and connect with. What does daddy do? Daddy helps people find business partners that they can make magic happen with, and like I explained to my kids, what does it mean to make a friend? And what does it mean to change your friend? And that's really profound because, in our age group, changing friends has not been an easy task for people. Moving a country, changing a job is really not easy for people to move from one industry to another. I've changed industries more than 15 times in my life. I've had 20 successful failures in business. So I know what it means to go through change. What does it mean to have a successful failure in business or in networking? Is to see both positives and negatives in it. And as you said, today, unfortunately, the youngsters, people who are more at the teenager level, statistically speaking, they're spending more time on social media and on games than they are actually in connecting with other human beings. Now, social media is not bad if we learn how to use it. I don't know many people who have had a class how to integrate social media into your everyday networking habits. Just a class. How to integrate social media into our life. What does it mean? Social media, unfortunately, if not used well, is very bad. It's a disease. It makes people sick. It makes people unhappy. It gives people depression. Some of the biggest problems we have today with mental health is because of social media. It is because of networking, because we don't have those deep connections that we crave and we yearn as people. What I try to share with different audiences around the world is ask yourself, what kind of friends do you want to have? And who do you have right now around you? I call these a networking audit. If any of your audience ever wants a networking audit, I'm happy to give it completely free of charge to everyone. They just write me anywhere in any social media and they just write the word audit. They'll receive it right away for free because it's something I discovered many, many years ago. I remember when I paid one of my coaches, I was 31 years old and I really knew that I needed help. And I was trying different coaches and it didn't work. And finally, I found this one coach, Thomas. And Thomas was charging a lot of money, like more money than I could ever have imagined back in the days to pay for a coach. It was so much money for me. And I remember that in the first session I had with him, he made me cry already. And I'm a tough guy. Historically, I've not been known a guy that was crying. Today, I'm in my 40s. I'm very comfortable that if I need to cry, I will cry. I'm very comfortable to show my emotions in specific settings with key people. But back then, I remember how he broke me down in the first session. And one of the biggest things we went through, like, really, who do you have in your network? Like back then, people already knew me as a super connector. Gil is the networking guy. I was living in Moscow. I was traveling to London a lot. I was moving around the world. And he was going deep into really who's your friends. Like, really, who's there? Do you really want to have such friends around you? And I remember that I didn't take it seriously enough. And when I was in my mid-30s, I was a serial entrepreneur. I had 9 companies at one point, but I found myself to be very unhappy. And I went to a Tony Robbins event. And when I came back from the event, I remember not understanding what I was doing as a networking audit, but I understand that I did it. I just sat there one day and I started writing names of people that I like in my life. And then I started writing what I like about them and how I feel when I'm with them and how I feel when I leave them. And do I miss them when I don't see them? And then I was thinking, have these people helped me with something in the past? Have these people bought me a birthday present that make a difference? Or they just came to the house with a bottle of wine? Was there really a deep connection? And about a week later, and I remember this very, very profoundly, I was 33 years old, I broke up with all of my friends. I remember being in a dinner with all these men and we had all these boys, strong boys, all these guys that were all living in Moscow at the same time with all of our girlfriends. And I remember getting very emotional and literally breaking up with them. Like, I'm calling it breaking up because we tend to use breakup when we break up a partnership, like a girlfriend, boyfriend, or a marriage. But I remember being in a state where I found that discussion to be so shallow. And it
Mm-hmm.
was Thanksgiving dinner. And I was like, why are we talking about something so shallow and so stupid? Like, we're friends. Like, do we want to be great? And I just came back from a Tony Robbins event. So it's like, it's all about being grateful, open heart, and hugging people. So, like, they were not Tony Robbins people. So back then it was too much for them. I was like, oh, Gil, you're too emotional. I get it. Back then, I wasn't as emotionally intellectual as I am today, where I know how to connect with people and build rapport based on where they are. And I remember how difficult it was to disconnect, but what it did to me, it gave me space and time to make new friends, to choose who do I want to connect with and why. And I started connecting with people from the Tony Robbins community. I started connecting with people that shared values with me a lot more. They didn't want to just go out and talk to women and go out and drink on the weekend. They didn't want to just go out on vacations where we get to go and party somewhere else in a city. They wanted to go and discover new cities and discover new cultures. And I remember that it was not easy. And whoever is listening to this, it's not easy to do what I'm saying, but it's very transformative. It's a lot of freedom will come into your life. Whether you like it or not, you will grow. You'll make more money. You'll be more healthy. You'll be more happy in general. Everything will flourish because suddenly you've adjusted the people around you. And we are the average of these people who are around us. And the first time I did it, I was not as aware. After that, over the years, when I started understanding a lot more about the depth of networking and making friends and making associates and having partnerships and having collaborations and having acquaintances and having connections and having contacts, all of these things are all different. Just because I've met someone twice, they're not my friend, even though they might say, oh, Gil is my friend. I'm not your friend. I met you 2-3 times. I've never shared a bonding, deep experience with you that really I can say that you are my friend. Different cultures refer to friendship in a different way. I just tell people, hey, write down who do you want as your friends and then take some action to look for them. And it's like learning how to play the piano or learning how to be a great chef. We tend to look for a coach to help us. If you're looking to really upgrade how you are in the world of networking, friendship, collaborators, strategic partners, find a coach, find a mentor to help you do that. Don't do it on your own.
Wow, I'm even more now inspired and encouraged by your story and how boldly it was for you, being 33, of course, make this profound decision. But I can totally relate and understand now what you're saying, because the level of awareness which has already came to you at the age of 33, and all of a sudden you see it. And it's not like some people, they are worse or better, we just different, and like on spiral dynamic, you just came to another point by being, of course, hardworking, observative, disciplined, a lot of stuff, because people believe all of a sudden what's happened to you, right? And oh, it's kind of, oh, he's a lucky boy, he that. But we know it takes a lot of job, it takes a lot of observation, self introspection. It's self managing, first of all, which is, like you said, sometimes it's so painful because you should kill your darlings, right? And I can cite you. I know that you've been sharing that a lot of even these things where you are now, people should sometimes really from the young age to learn from the hard way. And like you said, I had to learn this in the hard way. I didn't grow up confident, connected, or in the right rooms. I was a shy immigrant kid who didn't speak the language, and the only thing I knew how to do was observe. And it's so important. Thank you, Gil, that you are sharing this, because people now, it's so much buzz and hustle and it's a lot of much noise, and we constantly live in this noise that people even don't pause to take time for observation, because nobody would like to find themselves in silence now. They're afraid. They're so much afraid, right, to meet themselves, to meet real persons who they are inside. And actually not what is not the paper, not what is actually written on your social media profile, because the voice inside you doesn't care about that. Right, you know what I mean. And I do love so much, Gil, how you said that and by observation, and this really, it's a tremendous kind of job. It's a hard job, we know that you said, I watch who got included, who got ignored, who got invited, and who stayed invisible. And the most profound, which aligned to me, you said, and then truth I learned earlier was simple. People don't trust you because what you know. They trust you because of how they feel around you. And that realization shaped my entire life. So I am loving that so much. For me, like I started our show, I said as well, people, like you said, friends, so-called friends, names, and everything is fading. But people, maybe they will not be really remembering where they felt it about Gil and Valeria, how was the names, but the emotions, the feeling, how we really care to interconnect now and get in. This is the most important. Can you please tell us about, I know you involved in so much really deep, actually profound projects where you giving your strong message, and we are talking about diversity of thoughts, diversity of minds, and real no talking is labels but inclusion. And I know that you are a host of Human Garage, and you have established this beautiful club where it's based in the tea ceremonies. I do love it so much. Can you please tell the idea behind it and what kind of people? Now I can understand a little bit more that it's the same level
Yeah.
of awareness
Yeah, of course, of course.
about inclusion in these societies. Thank you.
Thank you for all that pre-framing. It's very beautiful how you, the details of what you see, and I appreciate you doing your research to understand, because a big part of networking is research, and I like to share with people that what I want people to know is that networking doesn't start when you meet someone and you have to say something, and networking can start at home if you wish to, like the state of mind you want to be in when going out to connect with people. That starts at home. The frameworks that you have in your mind and who you wish you want to connect with. You can actually say, hey, you can even use the word like manifestation. Like, who do I wish to manifest today when I go out networking to a friend's birthday or to an expo or some sort of a seminar? Who do I wish to meet with? And when I meet them, what would I say to them? That's nice to practice at home.
Mm-hmm.
In some cases, we can even do the research. If we're going to go to an event, if we're going to go to any interview, we're going to go on a date, we're going to go for a meeting, there's so much research that we could do, like you did about me, on who is this person that I'm going to be spending time with. And it's shocking to me how often I show up to meetings and the people in front of me didn't do any research on who I am. And I know so much about them and their company.
Mm-hmm.
And it just puts them in a weak position, because I'm in a position where I know so much about them, not from I can have leverage over you, or I can overpower the meeting somehow, but I can help lead us in a dance. And if we both did research, we could dance really well together. And that's very, very important, because when it comes to networking, we're not good at it. On average, as humans, men and women trying to connect is really bad. Like, that's why so many people in the world are getting divorces, and it's bad. And in general, different cultures, we're not really good at networking. We are okay, like just okay. We're not good at it. And many people, when I ask them, hey, how good do you think you are in networking from 1 to 10? Majority of people say they're a 7 or an 8. And I'm like, I'm sorry, with all of my research and all of my training, and I've been on covers of magazines and a networking guru all over the world. I've taught at universities with professors. And when all of my systems work perfectly, I'm a 6 or maybe a 6.5 out of 10, because I know how profoundly complex and beautiful networking really is. So I like to tell people that, hey, I could tell you what it is that I'm working on today. And it wasn't an easy journey. Like moving to London or moving to Moscow, before social media was really big and active where it is today, I had to look for ways to connect with people. I looked for the speed dating events. If you ever tried speed dating, it's amazing, where me as an introvert who was shy and didn't know how to talk to women, I went to a speed dating event where I knew I would meet with 15 women in one night. So to build up confidence, I said, well, if I mess up with the first 5 women, it's okay. I got 10 more. But then I said, well, how do I do it right with all 15? So I had to start learning how to ask people really good questions. How do I ask women really good questions to get them talking so they feel the connection? And I had to learn a lot about embodiment. How do I embody myself so that I'm talking to someone, they could feel me? And I had to start learning about presence. How do I just stay focused with them? I'm there right now. No phone. So if I'm on speed dating talking to one woman, I'm not looking at all these other women. I had to learn how to do that. It wasn't easy, and it's a lot of practice. And in order to meet men, I had to go to like expos and conferences, not because I was looking to meet friends or business partners. I just wanted to practice this art of human connection. And all of this led me through a lot of different industries, and I've opened up a lot of different businesses outside of being an entrepreneur. I've had restaurants and juice bars and software companies and mobile app companies and an extremely successful events company. You know, those of you who have done your research know that for more than 10 years, I was a representative of Tony Robbins and still am. And I hosted events with him all over the world. And I work with Eckhart Tolle, and I work with some of the greatest speakers in the world. And as a company, MeetPartners has produced over 2,000 events around the world. And because of all that experience, it led me to a position where at the age of 45, something came through to me and I wanted to stop. Living in Bali, I have a lot of spiritual friends around me. I've been on a very deep spiritual journey for over a decade, but really something told me to stop coaching companies, stop traveling the world and going on public speaking. I was doing like 100 events a year before COVID. And even during COVID, I flew to Dubai like 20 times to do speeches every single time. Like in Dubai only, I'd done over 100 speeches. I was like, Gil, you got to stop. Like, just stop everything. And it was really profound to go through this journey. And I found a couple of things. One, I found the art of understanding the balance between connection and disconnection. What does it mean to disconnect from human beings? What does it mean to fire someone in a company? I've never been good at firing people. I've hired over 400 people in companies around the world. I've never been good at firing them. I had to learn, what does that mean? I had to learn also, what does it mean to uncouple from my partner, Katya? We are together for 13 years. And, you know, in 2024, we decided to uncouple. We decided to understand, what does it mean to have a conscious uncoupling, to have love for each other. We got 3 kids. We got a project together. But we chose to not be husband and wife. But we chose to do it with love and appreciation and gratitude, to see if we can rebuild our friendship, to see if we can become awesome co-parents, to see what does that look like. And through that journey, the power of tea and tea salons and tea ceremonies and just presence of tea, the biohacking aspects of tea, the longevity aspects of tea, the history of tea became very important in my life. It went from a hobby to becoming more of a mission that was connected to my mission. My mission for many, many years has been to meet the most extraordinary human beings alive, learn from them, and connect them with others. It's very simple. Meet them, learn from them, connect them with others. And I've done that extremely well. Met the most incredible people in the world and still do regularly. And I don't keep them to myself. I'm like, oh, I met you. You're now mine. No. I met you. Oh my God, I want to connect you with some other people that I think would also value you. You would value them. Like, it became a regular practice. And in order to practice that even more, I had to find a vehicle. I had to find a container in order to do that. And that's where tea took me. It took me on a very, very deep journey where today, within some communities, I'm known as a pioneer in a tea renaissance. I'm known now as an usher in the new era of hospitality, because as someone who loves to host events and who's in a very deep mission to connect humanity with more presence, I now do that around tea tables myself. We have over 100 tea masters around the world that we work with right now. And we're mostly active in Bali because that's where I am. But in Bali, only to give you an idea, we have over 100 events every single month within the community itself. And it's not really about the tea. It's about the human connection. It's understanding that we don't need food in order to connect. Sometimes food slows us down. Food gets the table to be messy. Everybody eats differently. Sometimes food gets us to be a little bit more foggy in our head, And it's not about the needing of the alcohol. Also very, very important. A lot of people think that we need alcohol in order to connect and build relationships. Massive mistake. I don't drink alcohol for 13 years. I have nothing against all of you out there who want to drink, do whatever you want. But I'm telling you that the programs that you have in your head, they're completely wrong. Alcohol, I was taught when I was young, alcohol is going to make you a little bit easier to connect with people. You'll feel more confident to talk to women, blah, blah, blah. Someone programmed us, and it's completely wrong. And we created a movement called Cha Tea, CHATEA. Cha means tea for billions of people in Asia. Tea is tea. Chatty is also being chatty. I want to get people to be chatty around the tea table. And it doesn't have to be a tea ceremony that's overly structured and overly, like, wow, ceremonial. It doesn't have to be. But it could be a tea gathering just for women or just for men. It could be a tea gathering for business people. I love running masterminds, like business masterminds, where everybody are successful entrepreneurs and somebody is serving tea around the table. Tea just grounds us, it connects us, and it's been used for thousands of years around the world to do that exactly. In some countries around the world, like look at China, for example, look at Japan, look at even some places in Malaysia. Every single business meeting you come to, right away, they stop everything and they serve you tea. Why? What do they know that we don't? And I went very deep into it. I studied the entire tea industry for the last 2 years. I created 18 different business models and revenue models around tea because I like business. We launched 7 different businesses to see which one actually works, which one do we like. We're not into selling tea. I don't sell tea. I don't have a tea house, but we promote tea growers and tea farmers. We promote tea brands. We promote tea houses. We support a lot of people to learn how to serve tea. So we are really educators. We want more. We want 100,000 people in the next 3 years to come through one of our programs. And it's not just us teaching. We have identified the best teachers in the world to teach how to be a tea friend, how to be a tea angel, how to be a tea sommelier or a tea barista business, how to be a tea master. You can host events. People will pay you a lot of money to hold space for them. And we've been playing with it. We've been bringing it into crypto events. It's amazing to see a crypto event or a real estate event where all these serious looking men in suits, usually they go there to drink alcohol. Suddenly they come to us to have some tea and to connect with each other with presence. And today we're having a lot of fun. And you mentioned Human Garage because a part of my growth, a part of my development over many years now, I've always given 20, sometimes even 50% of my time for others, meaning mentorship, coaching, other people's projects. And I've been extremely successful at that. And I took some time off to launch Chati. I really cut it down almost like fully, where I didn't want to work with others. I wanted to work on something that is not mine, but it's for the world. And it's something that would be my legacy. And it's something that's fully connected with all of my values and personal development and networking. It's like fully aligned with everything that I am. And a part of that development, I created some very unique strategies in quantum networking mechanics on how can we build a business with ease and clarity? How can we create a community that is not my community, but it's a community of communities? It's an ecosystem. We call it a T-ecosystem. And a part of those partnerships, I've partnered up with a group called Human Garage. Currently, they're the fastest growing wellness movement in the world that's teaching humanity how to self-heal. And they have a very beautiful mission to get 1 billion people in the next 3 years to understand how to self-heal. It is truly a next level type of a movement. And it will be, in my opinion, even more popular than yoga in the next few years because it's easy, it's fun, and it's really transformative. And because I started a partnership with them, with Chati and Human Garage, it moved so beautifully that in December of last year, they offered me an actual position in the organization next to all the partners, where I'm overlooking in the entire global community of 150 million people. But I've taken a more focused kind of position to be the host of their business accelerator. Wow. So we can help people who want to heal the world, who are coaches who want to make a difference in the world. We're going to help them understand how to build a business around them, how to help them with partnerships and structures and systems and frameworks and connections, so they don't feel, oh my God, I'm a coach somewhere in the world and I got to do it on my own. So it's been really amazing. We have people from about 80 different countries right now in the accelerator. it's really incredible how quickly they're learning. And it's, again, something that's so aligned with who I am and what I'm trying to do. So it's a win-win for everyone in my community, in our community, and in the world that's listening.
I've been so much charged from you. So now you know what? Part of my PhD is about neurodiversity and diversity. And can you imagine even what hits me right now? Like, even after all this community, humanity, empathy, which is my core values as well. So it will be cool that now maybe you also, one day we can do something together, and I can call it, like, neurodiversity, like with not T but T, right? Because it's new emergent type or domain of diversity, but actually not as in existence core, but how we more and more should talk about that, and raise awareness about that our brain are actually perceiving this world differently, and it's beauty again in that, because we embrace in biodiversity. We love go to botanical garden. We know that roses, they flourish, they don't compete with lilies. That's why we go there, right? Because in togetherness, actually we are strong. In togetherness, like you said, in deep connections and interconnection, in synergy, we actually make each other to grow. It's how this human garage. And I do love that inspiringly you're talking about giving to others, helping others. Because my mom, she taught me, I had quite challenging childhood. My father, he had alcohol addiction, and it was a lot of adversities as well, which make me myself who I am today. And my mom, she always taught me that, Valeria, there are always two ways how you can approach your life, because it will be suffering, it will be ups and downs. You can never control what's actually coming, right? Like outside. But the approach, it's like you can be always taker and fill your hands. And if you want to fill your heart, you should be a giver. So I'm trying to be a giver all my life. That's why I've decided also very early to do something really good and to give back. And in my personal story, it was always like also the choice to be or victim and say, oh, I'm just like that because my childhood was that and that and that. And or you can turn it like you create the fuel this adversity and put something good, like you have did and doing every single day, Gil. So I decided to at least save couple of people or girls that they should not have the childhood I had. So I have adopted two girls from Ukraine many years ago, and they also neurodivergent. One of them has ADHD as you, and another mental uniqueness, I call it, right? So that's why my question.
I call them superpowers.
Superpowers, exactly. And my next TED talk will be from OCD to PhD. It's me to master and PhD now, and like not weakness but uniqueness, not disabilities but plus abilities, and not disorder but just order, different order, right? And it's so beautiful in that. How do you think we uh, can create even more inclusive communities, not like again tokenism or on the papers, but how we can help that people should, like you said, look at this mental uniqueness which you and me possess as superpowers, as our yes, super magical
It's
thing.
it's such a relevant question to what's going on in the world right now. 2025, many people would say, was the most uncomfortable year on earth.
Exactly.
One, too much geopolitical problems in the world. Two, we've had more natural disasters in 2025 than most years we can remember as human beings.
Mm-hmm.
And when we have natural disasters, it's not just random. We are affected by it. As humans, we got massively affected by it. And what people are talking about more than ever before right now, it's community. And community has been a sexy topic for many years, but really people didn't take it seriously enough. People were just talking about it like it's a thing. Let's everybody create your own community. I completely disagree with making their own communities. I think that's a mistake. I don't have a Gil Petersil community. I don't, and I don't want to. I have networks of people in different communities, and I like to cross-pollinate within communities. I like communities that are based on a concept, an idea, a philosophy, of values that are shared, that don't necessarily have one leader. It's not, it's, a community could be anywhere between a religion, a cult, and some sort of a program. It's not a bad thing. Like, some religions, I believe, are really, really great for people. People need something to believe in. They need, whether it's God, whether it's a universe, whether it's something that you truly believe in. I think that's wonderful. I think that in some level, even some cults are completely okay. When I was so active in the Tony Robbins community, some of my friends and family said, Gil, you're in a cult. I'm like, well, if you think this is a cult, good. You're not in it. I am. I am happy. I'm successful. I'm growing. It's working out for me. Now, one of the things I loved about Tony Robbins so much is that he even created a documentary about it. The documentary is called I'm Not Your Guru. Because it wasn't about him. It was about the state of mind. It's about the lifestyle that we can have. It's about being in the service of others. It's about being able to be in gratitude instead of having expectations from people, have appreciation from people, understanding who we are, understanding that progress is king. Like, we don't have to be stuck in life. And if we feel like we're stuck, there's no need to get out of the hole by ourselves. We can connect to others. Something that I love to bring up a lot in the world of networking is to compare ourselves to plants. And just like nature, we can't expect to be always healthy, always perfect. There's situations that are out of our control. But somehow nature always is thriving. Look, I'm in Bali. I'm looking right now at a massive forest in front of me, and like nature and colors and flowers. And when we as humans, we plant something into nature, what happens in the first few days, that piece of the plant or the flower, it gets comfortable. And it slowly starts to get its roots out there. What it's doing with its roots, it's not just connecting itself to the earth. It's trying to find other roots. It's trying to entangle itself in the network, in the mycelium that is there. And one of my favorite plants is the bamboo plant. For those of you out there who don't have bamboo underwear, highly recommend, ladies and gentlemen. Bamboo underwear is amazing, especially for men. Oh my goodness, highly recommend, check them out. But bamboo is a plant, has 14 different income streams. It's a very, very good business. Like, if you want to buy, gentlemen, if you want to buy your women a really beautiful present, buy them bed sheets made out of bamboo. Oh my God, it feels like silk. It's so beautiful. You can also buy them a robe if you want. It's up to you. But bamboo in general, I think, is really wonderful. The bamboo itself, if you plant the bamboo right here somewhere in a really good fertile ground, it takes about 4, sometimes even 5 years for that bamboo, once it's been planted, to come out of the ground and be this high. 4 to 5 years. What it's doing during those 5 years, it's networking underground without anyone seeing. It's networking blindly. It's connecting. It's feeling into the network. It's sensing itself. It's making sure that it feels grounded. It feels safe to come out of the ground. It feels held by the network. I feel held. I'm not going to fall back. When I grow, I'm going to be held by others. And when it grows, usually when it comes out of the ground, within 2 weeks, it will shoot up like 20 meters high. And it's being held. That's why it could go so high. In the network of humanity, we are the same. Those out there who are, somehow divergence of like human beings, we are superhumans. Yeah, there's movies about us out there. Being ADHD, I know I can do 100 things at the same time. Most people cannot. Being ADHD, I know I can host an event while looking at the details of the lights, the bar. I could take care of the catering. I can also be the DJ. I can connect people. I can check out that sexy woman at the end of the room. I can have a short conversation with this person. And I can also notice other things happening at the event all at the same time. Most people, unless they're ADHD, cannot do that. Someone who's dyslexic, I learned that reading a book is not easy for me, but I can listen to a book and I like learning. So now I'm able to listen to 20, 30, even 50 books a month because I'm able to listen to books, short books books in 15 minutes. If I like it, I'll listen to the entire book. So I like to tell people out there that consider, number one, don't build your own community, build collaborative communities. Stop building your own businesses, collaborate with others as much as you can. If you want to be an entrepreneur, don't jump into it. Go and partner up with an entrepreneur. Go and work with an entrepreneur for a while. Go and feel what it's like being a part of something bigger than yourself. Yeah, and in 2026, that's the wake-up call we're all going to get. We're going to get that because AI is growing faster than ever before, and I'm really into AI, and I'm going to be using AI to help humanity network, because unfortunately, a lot of networking is a waste of time. People don't know how to really give value. A lot of people waste each other's energies. They just want to suck each other's energies, not understanding how to exchange or how to maintain energy levels. If there are any introverts out there and you want some more love from me, you can always ask me for my introvert hacks. I have a really good, gift that I give people about what does it mean to network as an introvert and how do you maintain energy. But please collaborate out there a lot more. Look for people who are doing something you want to do and see if you can help them do that. This is something I learned from Geshe Michael Roach, who wrote the book Karmic Management. And I learned that sometimes in life, if we have a goal to achieve something, if you have a goal to write a book, if you have a goal to make $1 million, if you have a goal to get a great job, consider to find someone that you know and help them to do that. Give them 10% of your time. Give them an hour a week. Give them 10 hours. Give them whatever you want. But try to see if it's not all about ego and significance, helping myself. See if you can help others as well and see how well that's going to pay off for you.
What a beautiful, beautiful, strong, powerful message. Actually, you have already answered my, it's so rarely first time in actually in Norway. That's why I'm trying like to do that and that, not that much live, but it's you who actually transmitted all that live from Bali to me. I understand that, and thank you for that. It's from your smile. Before we wrapping up, I want to ask you, tomorrow I'm invited to participate in the show by Equity Mesh, like Mentor Stock. I will be participating as mentor for executives, and that's why I'm trying to steal hidden gems by my guests. And it will be a lot of nice questions, of course, very fruitful conversation. And one of them, it will be like, if you had just one particular advice which you actually can give to all your clients, or the best advice. Particularly me, I do believe like the best advice, it's different advice in different settings with different people and different, like you said, situation. Advice for 2022 when the war broke, for example, now 2025 different. But if you could choose, like, if you had like 1 minute or this brief dating mentor, what that advice could be from you to everybody, maybe kind of universal, I don't know. I can steal it tomorrow and say it like as it is mine.
I love that. So, one piece of advice is difficult for me because I like giving people advice when I'm in front of them or if I know who I'm giving it to. So maybe I'll just consider giving you personally advice.
Yes.
And if it's useful for your audience, it's useful for your audience, I've had many of my mentors who are alive and some who are dead have given me advice. Albert Einstein is one of my mentors, and he has a really beautiful saying: only a life lived in the service of others is a life worth living. And I've really, it's something that I truly believe in. I really believe in being there in the service of others, which is where the awareness of quantum networking and time came together. And many of us don't have an awareness of time. We don't actually know how much time we have every day. We don't always know how to utilize time. And the advice is really to try to look at your network regularly, almost like an outsider, like what's happening in my network, and try to align it with your time. Who in my network do I give my time to? So try to break down your day. How much of my time do I give to myself? How much of my time do I give God or the universe? How much of my time do I give to my home or my plants? How much of my time do I give to my pets? Maybe someone has a dog or a cat. You got to take the dog for a walk. You got to give some love and food to the cat. And then going to humans. How much time do I give to my immediate network, to my family, to my immediate team members? How much of my time do I give to old connections? So people that I've maybe not seen in 6 months. Maybe people that you've not seen in 6 months, you want to give them 10 minutes a week. And you want to just send them a voice message. Every week you take 10 minutes and you send some of these people a voice message. Not that you're trying to meet them for lunch, just to kind of stay connected. Like, why would we, like, this is a good human being. Consider how much of your time do you give to new people. And the advice is really to understand that quantum networking mechanics is so beautiful and it's so complex. And if we look at what quantum computers did, computers networking so deeply created AI. Imagine the potential of humans networking so deeply. Imagine what we can co-create. Imagine how we can cross-pollinate and share our networks, just like DNA does. DNA comes together and moves apart. As humans, we don't come together and stay together for the rest of our lives. It's not healthy to do that. We need to come together and move apart. We need time alone. We need time with new networks. We need to explore, what does it mean to be uncomfortable? And the advice is really to go deep into that and to understand the depth of quantum networking and to be comfortable with the uncomfortableness of it.
Exactly. I know it's profound growth happens in those uncomfortable times, right? It's how we grow, and the growth then really for your network, it's so contagious. People looking at you, it's what you are doing, not just for yourself, but really for so many other people, because we are role models, especially you and me. We try to not just even try, we are really honest and we're sharing our story and everything what we are doing. It's so also big responsibility for us, for our networking, right? If we grow, if we can really manage our adversities and uncomfortable time and turn into something really even bigger and comfortable as well. Because when you stay comfortable, then you are not growing, then you're stuck, right? So you should go like this seed which you compared. Even seed to become a plant should go through the darkness, to the adversity, to the soil, to the hardship, and then it's light and sun and look into this beautiful world. But first you have really to put so much effort to go through, to break through all this darkness, right? Thank you so much. It's so inspiring. I could really sit and kidnap you for many hours with tea, and we could sit and dream and co-collaborate and co-create. Like you said brilliantly, it's my jam as well, to co-creation with people, like-minded people, in togetherness, making a magic. I do strongly believe in that, and I hope one day we can really do it together, maybe in Human Garage or neurodiversity. I can be neurodiversity queen. Shy, very modest, I know. The time before we wrap, I'm always inviting my vice president to join our studio. Then people like, oh, all of a sudden you never gave these details. Should be 3 of us in studio, and then I'm pulling out this beauty, this sustainable, tough pink beauty. Pink, it's my favorite color. This is my vice president, the best one ever. Really strongly advised. Never fights against me. Never pull down my decisions. Always supportive, encouraging, and really magic. How do you think what it is? You see it, right? What it is.
I love it. I gave my kids one of those as well. A little
Yeah.
bit different, of course. They're all very magical, but is that to make magical wishes?
Perfect. Yes, and because she's really generous, and Aladdin's lamp had to serve just Aladdin. That's why it was 3 wishes. But Mai would like to help as many people as possible, right? So unfortunately, we cannot give and grant 3 wishes for everybody, but 1 wish, absolute, with love and gracefulness. So my last question, but for now, and from my vice president and me, of course, I'm journeying. What that wish from Gil Petersil will be today?
My wish right now is really like when I tell people about my wishes these days. Again, I'm always being very mindful of who I'm saying my wish to.
Okay.
And what I like to tell people is the greatest wishes we can wish for is other people. Yeah. And my biggest wish is for to have new tea friends in my life. People that want to take this movement of chat tea to a global level. They want to take it to schools and the governments. They want to help humanity connect with more unity in a community and create more opportunity for diversity and beauty. And if you're someone out there that's listening and you're inspired by me and you're inspired by what I'm doing, please reach out to me. Don't be shy. Best way to reach out to me is with a 1-minute voice message. I love getting messages from people that way because I can feel their heart, and it's always going to be me that's responding. So that is my wish. Someone that wants to make more magic happen in the world using tea.
I am totally joining this magical tea movement, and you can count on me. And I'm also very, very huggable tea person. I do love also interconnection. I do believe that we should put all our 5 senses when we interconnect. I'm still struggling just with like this. So I hope if I could fly, I could like really go and hug, because this is,
Please.
this is.
I'm a big hugger.
Yeah, you
I love hugging. I love, holding on to people and connecting with people that way. It's co-regulation is an important part of networking. It's a sensitive part that most people are not comfortable even talk about, because it's a very deep level of networking when touch becomes important for the actual connection itself. So 100% I'll accept your hug whenever we see each other in the world. This year I'll be traveling just a little bit more than I did last year. Last year I did not travel at all. 0. Last 12 months I traveled 0 times. This year I'll be traveling a little bit. So I hope that you and I and some of our listeners can meet somewhere in the world, either join tea together or even serve others in community.
Absolutely. It's so beautiful wish. I do this now. I'm joining this wish for her, for myself, this tea-ness with empathy. This is so important. So, Gil, joy, so much joy you have been bringing to me this morning. I'm radiating this joy and spread your beautiful, beautiful message. So I really inspired now. I really filled with a lot of this tea. And now I'm sure when I'm drinking my tea, because I'm a really big tea lover every single day, so it will be a totally new meaning for me of my tea because of you. And it will be it's going to bring even more joy every day. And now I know joy will be always, I know my tea now always will be a little bit guilty. Cool. This is sexy one. Guilty. I'm going to drink
I'm
my
okay with that.
Yeah.
I love it.
I love
Thank you so much, my dear. Thank you, everybody who's listening. Please be in touch.
Absolutely. So thank you, my beautiful audience. I know this conversation has been inspiring so much, and everything was going on. It's not accidental, of course. It's deep meaningful tea in humanity and diversity and inclusion. Thank you so much. Stay with us, and please remember, diversity is the game changer. Okay, have a beautiful tea day. Bye bye.